Go ahead and get him down.
Here in a little bit, if there's any way you can get that video of the dude with his legs on the dash and send that to Corey, I want him to see it.
I'll send it to him.
As a paramedic, I'd like his opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What is going on, guys? Griffin here, coming at you with some Umbra gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about voting for game changes for Rogue Company. So let's head over and check it out. So Rogue Company finally announced the board members. I know that this has been a process that has been ongoing for quite a while, and I've got quite a bit of questions about when they're going to announce the board, if it's actually a thing, and who's going to be involved in the board. They finally announced who that is. Apparently, they had their first board meeting the other day, and there was some questions from the board members that Hi-Res Mini actually put out on Twitter, and the responses from the developers for those. And I wanted to focus on one specific thing that she put up because I think that this is a very interesting idea, but it has to be incorporated into the game in a very, very good and clever way. So this is the question: community voting for changes or fixes? And this was the response. One of the things we've been discussing recently is having something like this. One of the challenges of community voting, particularly with bugs and issues, is the difficulty of solving certain bugs. So with that being said, I think that we need to look at voting on specific things as far as balances for the game, right? Because of course, you have bugs that exist. How do you get a community poll together to vote on what bugs needs to be addressed and what bugs needs to be tackled? Because here's the reality. They all need to be fixed and they all need to be tackled. Some are more severe than others, like the Dollface Dahlia skin not having a hitbox. Like, that is a huge bug that they did address in the Walking Dead hotfix. Absolutely. But there's other small minor bugs that can kind of be put on hold until some of these other major bugs are hammered out. And I think that they need to develop a system where when a bug is pre-existing for so long, then it gets priority fix whenever they go to start patching some of these bugs, like the trench barbed wire. And they did address this over on her Twitter, where basically they play test the game 2 to 5 times a week. I don't know if that's real. I don't know what their idea of playtesting is, whether it's playing a future iteration of the game playtesting or the current iteration of the game playtesting. But basically they said every time they playtest the game and they find places where the trench barbed wire destroys itself, they go in there, they fix it, they figure out what's causing it, and then they move on, which is the way to do it. I mean, you can't fix every spot in every map unless you have a person literally dedicated to hopping into the current build of the game in a custom match with nobody in there, with an endless timer, and you literally throw the barbed wire everywhere on that map, which they could do. They could absolutely take this most current build of the game and they could go in there and tweak some of the things as a private game, as a private launcher, and test it out on every single map, which is what they should do, in my opinion. I think that if there's pre-existing bugs that exist for so long, then they need to do everything in their power to fix those and not rely so heavily on the community and do it in-house. That's me. That's my personal opinion on it, and that's how you actually fix some of these issues. But this is about the voting thing, right? We don't need to vote for bug fixes. We don't need to vote with specific issues in the game. Those are things that need to be addressed and they need to be fixed as soon as possible. What we do need to vote on is for balance changes specifically, okay? And I think that the only way to do this would be an actual PTS cycle with more people involved in this PTS cycle. If there's a way that they can bring the console community into the PTS, and then they have a survey or a poll that you have to do in game. I'm not talking about clicking on something and going to an external site. I'm not talking about scanning a QR code on your phone. I'm talking about it has to exist inside of the game. It has to gather feedback through the game itself through all platforms, all across the board, in order to make this something that is actually worth doing, in my opinion. Because think about it. You have your average player that hops on every single day and they play the game every single day, and they have no idea what's going on outside of what the game says, right? They have no Twitter presence, they have no Reddit presence, they have no Facebook presence when it comes to Rogue Company. They just play the game, and that's what they do, right? But their opinion should be valued just as much as my opinion and your opinion and everybody else's opinion. So they need to contain this within the game itself. They need to have an extended PTS cycle for massive changes that come into the game. And there needs to be a way for players to give feedback on that PTS cycle. That's how it needs to happen. Because what inevitably will happen whenever you introduce a voting system for balance changes is either an influx of new accounts that are swaying the game in the direction that those individuals want the game to go, or completely ignored except for a very small subset. Then they take that small subset versus what they're trying to do with the game and how much the pick ban rate is, how much the play rate is, all that kind of stuff, and then decide whether the voting system is actually something that is going to be good for the game and for this specific change, or if the play rate, pick rate, ban rate paints a different story. That's just how it is. So I think that they need to do it through the game. They need to make it to where you get one vote, you get one feedback option per system, okay? Per system. And I understand you have people out there that have multiple siblings that play on the same console under different account names. You have content creators that create content under 18 different accounts. I get that. You don't need to have all those different accounts chime in on what they think. You want to know what that one individual thinks, and you don't need anybody swaying this voting system. And that's what's going to happen. I don't think that they'll ever introduce something like this into the game because there's too many variables that they can't control what the outcome of it would be. And I don't mean control in a negative way. I mean a control in an actual way where it's like one vote, one person, one thought, and that's it. Each person gets one thought, they get one vote, they get one opinion, and that covers the basis for every single account that they have. That's just the way that I look at it, and that's what has to happen in order to gather actual, legitimate, like noteworthy feedback on specific changes. I think that this is a good idea. I really do. I think that this is a fantastic idea to do something like this and to kind of put the ideas and also the way that the game is balanced in the players' hands so that it is more for their experience, because we're the ones that are playing it. We're the ones that are spending money on it. Yes, you may be play testing it 3 to 5 times a week, but that really doesn't mean anything, especially whenever you're play testing it all in-house. You're in this self-contained environment in-house. You're playing against people that are there in-house. You're not having a lot of the same issues that everybody else is having because it's all being done in-house. You have to expand that out and give it to the player base and say, look, what are we going to do here, guys? What do you think about the fixture change? What do you think about the chalk change? What do you think about the battle zone change? Take that feedback and run with it. They've been doing surveys for as long as I can remember on Rogue Company. And they've been doing like cosmetic surveys. They've been doing gameplay surveys. They've been doing balance surveys, all that kind of stuff. And I don't feel like those surveys have done anything positive for the game itself. I feel like those surveys are a gigantic waste of time, in my opinion. I continue to do them because I have an illusion of helping, right? Have an illusion of having my voice heard. And that's been happening for a very long time. There is an illusion of your voice being heard, regardless of how close you are with the developers and how close you are with the game itself. There's an illusion of being heard. There's an illusion of them taking your thoughts and feedbacks in on it. That's exactly what the survey is. It's an illusion of having that feedback. It's an illusion of them actually reading it and listening to it. That's just how it is. I do like this idea a lot. I do think that this would be good for the longevity of the game, especially whenever you have specific changes that people can realize and can't realize. Take the fixer change, for example. Fixer change high-level gameplay is busted in a massive way. Mid-tier gameplay, they're going to get frustrated playing against it because they don't understand it. Low tier, they don't care. They want to hop in and play strikeout. That's just the way that it is. but you need all three subsets of feedback in order to make an educated decision on the direction of this specific change. I can sit here all day long and say that the fixer change is broken and that it's going to snowball and it's going to get completely out of hand, which it probably will, and nothing will be done about it until that happens. And that's just the sad reality of it. And I don't think that voting to have the fixer change tweaked in some way is going to change that. I think that the developers are going to wait until it gets out of hand before they address this specific issue. But that's just my personal opinion. Voting, yes. Very strict criteria for voting, absolutely has to happen. Will it be something that's present in the game? Absolutely doubt it. That's just where I stand. But be sure to let me know where you stand in the comments down below. Do you think that having a voting system in-game would be something beneficial for the game itself? Do you think that it would be exploited and swayed into a very bad area or a very bad game state? Or do you think it would be something that would be legitimate for gathering feedback? Please be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check the description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Also, there is a link in the description for the most current giveaway, so please be sure to check that out. Lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys. There.
Get on the side there.
All enemies have been eliminated.
Fixer's on this corner. Okay. So he's just running around hip firing.
Damn it.
He's directly above me. Come on, Saint.
I stuck that fucking.
They crushed us.
There you go.
One enemy left. Enemies have been wiped out.
I'm dead. No, I'm not. Come on, Saint. How the fuck did he know I was up there? There's no goddamn way.
We've been wiped out.
Alright, whenever you drop into this one, I'm just gonna stay back. Because they're just hard pushing that mid. He's about to die.
They crushed us.
Lethal out.
Oh no, he's right here.
One enemy left.
Just one shot.
45 seconds remaining. Enemy is eliminated. Great work.
God damn! Oh, okay. Fucking ninja's dumbass is down. Coming back.
At least got you back.
It's over. Everyone head back to base.